ORU's spectacular season came to an end last night. The team is out of March Madness after losing 74-51 against Duke. Big sigh, everyone, together.
Tough one.
We're calling up Jonathan Huskey to the 4 p.m. to chat about it.
Jonathan, thanks for being here.
Sure.
So what's next for the Golden Eagles after this loss?
I mean, you say what's next. Let's not put the season to bed yet, right? This was an incredible year, not just in Oral Roberts history, but in NCAA basketball history. They were the only team in the country to go undefeated in conference play. They had the nation's longest winning streak before last night at 17 straight games, the most Division I wins in school history at ORU. They accomplished some things this season at Oral Roberts. So the question then becomes, when you think about what's next, it's more like a who's next. And we're kind of jumping into the next question here because I cheated and looked at the script for the show. But every single one of those guys in that starting lineup could come back next year. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
So that's, especially for a team like ORU that's not going to have a lot of one-and-done NBA guys, the question becomes, who comes back, who transfers, who leaves to go play in the pros, who just hangs it up completely. So now the other question too is Paul Mills. He has been a hot name in the coaching world for a couple of years now, basically since the Sweet 16 year. What he did with ORU this year, any opening in the country, his name is going to get mentioned. So will he be the coach next year at ORU is another question. But is it going to be an interesting offseason to see who's there player-wise, who's there coach-wise?
Well, speaking of that, Max Asmus, he's a senior,
yes,
but he still has one more year of eligibility. Do you think that he will come back as a fifth-year senior?
You know, who knows? Max is such a unique guy in that after the Sweet 16 year, when he led the nation in scoring, everybody thought he was gone. I mean, your stock's never going to be higher? Why not jump to the draft then and see where you can, what you can do? Well, he came back, played last year, came back again, and played this year. Finished top 10 in the nation in scoring again. Won the Summit League Player of the Year award for the second time in his career. So he does have the one extra year of eligibility because of the COVID year. To give a prediction as to what he does, I don't know. He was really non-committal last night. Our John Olcomb spoke with him in the locker room. Didn't really give any kind of leanings one way or the other. Said he's going to think about it and kind of, you know, make a decision at a later point. But he's such a unique guy. He really likes playing at ORU. He likes playing in college. It would not shock me to come back for him to come back. It also wouldn't shock me for him to say, you know what, it's time for me to see what I can do at the next level. So a lot of eyes focused on his decision over the next 6-8 months or so.
If I was an NBA GM, I'd draft him, but
why not? I
think the scouts are worried about his size.
You know, and that's always the argument is the size. But if you're 5'10" or 6'10", if you score 25 points a game, 3 games in a row in the NCAA tournament like he did 2 years ago, you can play the game.
Yeah,
you know,
somewhere at least.
Three pointers count for 3 everywhere you play.
Yep. So. All right, quickly, we got one more question. Let's talk about OSU, Oklahoma State. They were in the NIT as the top seed. They're the only Oklahoma team left in postseason play. Yeah. Do they have a chance to win the NIT?
Sure. I mean, they absolutely do. They play Sunday, Eastern Washington at home in Stillwater, which is a plus for them. They played that first game on the road. If you look at the rest of the NIT bracket, there's not any other team out there that's really super scary. Vanderbilt's on the other side of it, maybe. That's one of the bigger Power 5 teams that's still in it. But at least on their side of the bracket, there's not anybody that jumps off the page as like, oh, they're going to have a problem. So if Moussa Cisse is healthy and if they score like they did the first half of the Big 12 season, they can beat anybody in that NIT bracket. Would not shock me at all to see them playing in Vegas for the title in a couple weeks.
Okay. Jonathan, thanks so much.
You know it.
We'll be right back after this break.